Welcome back to Tarot by the Bay. I'm David. It is Sunday, June 18th. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there. And a special thank you to all the ladies who made those fathers. You had to do the heavy lifting. So they're not fathers without your help on this one. I put up a Michael Flynn video last night. It generated a lot of comments and interest. And more than one person asked if I would read on Michael Flynn's involvement with January 6th. And for good measure, could I include his brother Charles, who's also a general in the military, who was also involved with January 6th. I looked up an article on him just to get back up to speed with him, with Charles Flynn. And he apparently was like, he was in charge of the military around D.C. around that point. I'm sorry if I'm being really vague. I don't have the exact details, but he was the Army Deputy Chief of Staff for Operations on January 6th. That pretty much tells me he was in charge of operations there. I'm sure that's not a coincidence whatsoever. And during testimony to I don't know if it's the January 6th committee or to basically investigators on this, it was determined that Charles Flynn and another general, Walter Piatt, basically lied several times in their testimonies. They lied about giving orders to bring troops on, and the people, I guess it was the colonel that was in charge of the National Guard for the District of Columbia, his testimony completely contradicted the testimony of these two generals. And Army note takers who were there as part of the conversations that happened, their notes support what the National Guard was saying, as opposed to what General Flynn and General Piatt were saying. The other piece of this puzzle is Mike Flynn's son was involved with Mike Flynn's. He has like a lobbying organization, but he was investigated in the Mueller probe. He was investigated in the Mueller probe for Russian interference. So good Lord, I really should. I'll send a message over to. God, come on, David. It doesn't help if you can't pull out the people's names here. Melissa, the free reading psychic. I want to send a message over to Melissa if she would do a past life reading on these three men. I might do a little research on my own just to see if there were three Confederate generals or officers that that were family that were way up there. Because I'll bet you these guys are the reincarnation of these people to nowadays. But I want to throw on all three of the Flynns to find out, certainly with the two generals, if they had culpability with January 6th. For entertainment purposes only, trigger warning, this is not a MAGA-friendly channel. Trigger warning, this is reading tarot cards, so if you're one of those Christians that thinks that this is demonic work, you don't need to watch, nor do you need to leave a comment. Just go. Go enjoy your Father's Day. Don't waste your time with me here. For everybody else, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for your support. I've had a great Father's Day. Slept in, and just spent the last hour and a half reviewing comments and such. So I'm ready to do some readings and can keep pumping out content for you. All right, thank you again. Entertainment purposes only. Spirit, what can you tell me about the Flynn Brothers and January 6th? Okay, well, money, lifestyle, maintaining their lifestyles, and the agreements that they've made. Okay. And again, I think it's agreements with Trump. They were part of, right out the bat, what this is telling me is that they were definitely a part of this conspiracy, and they were going to be, parts of the new American oligarchy that would have come out of all this. With Trump being maintained in power, they were going to be the ones who will be handsomely paid, and they would be the nobles, new nobles in the U.S. U.S. royalty, U.S. oligarchy. In the past, we have the world card. Let me throw all of them and then we'll come back. Page of Cups, Two of Swords, King of Pentacles. Hello, Mr. Trump. Things happening fast. And there's underneath is the Seven of Swords. Okay, so in the past, world card. I think this is basically taking into account their military service, how they've progressed up to generals. That is that's no small feat. That's an incredible feat. There are not that many generals, and they were beyond brigadier. Brigadier is your 1-star general. They were lieutenant generals, and I think Flynn was lieutenant, and his brother was a major general. So those are 2-star and 3-star generals. That is way up on the list here. This is their success and in the military. I do wonder if in a past life, if they were military generals again for the Confederate Army, this is bringing it full circle again, where they have made it all the way up to the military general high officer status. Current situation with the January 6th was the Page of Cups. They have a really perverted way of looking how the U.S. should be. They are looking at things not in a rational or reasonable manner. They have their view of what America should be, and it's not the traditional way that America has evolved over time. They want to take it a very different direction, and it was easy to coerce them to this agreement because it kind of fit their views of it. There is some speculation that Michael Flynn might be involved with QAnon. Michael Flynn's son would espouse conspiracy theories. He was apparently one of the people that kept Pizzagate going. So, there's some craziness involved with all this. They're weird. They're just weird. They're not right in the head. And I don't know how that happened. But overarching, they had a choice they could make. They could, they had successful military careers, retire, go off into the sunset. Michael Flynn was going to be making a ton of money lobbying for Russia and Turkey against America's best interest. But if that's how he wants to sell his soul, it's his soul to sell. But they had choices to make. And the choice they made was to go with Donald, to go with Trump, to go and become part of the American oligarchy and make big, big money. And, the Flynn name would be immortalized amongst the nobility of the U.S. And it's ridiculous. These guys were both generals. How many people, and I was reviewing comments from some of my viewers that, they're in the military. And, if you had a pair of brothers or uncles or a father and an uncle that were generals, I might imagine you'd be fiercely proud of your family heritage to have these guys serving in the military and having such success. And talk about flushing it down the toilet. Truly just flushing it. Things happened very quickly with January 6th. I think things kind of spun out of control for them on January 6th. Underneath it all, on this whole reading, is them trying to get away with it, trying not to be held accountable for Jan 6th, but basically, stealing all the silverware and artwork that they can in the process. If it wasn't nailed down, they were going to take it. And I think they were basically trying to steal our democracy. And they knew what they were doing. And I think they thought they were going to get away with it. And if I had a Scooby-Doo shirt on, it would say something about you meddling kids. But they didn't get away with it. Trump didn't get away with it. The coup was not successfully pulled off. And unfortunately, until these guys are arrested and held accountable, we are still in a coup. The coup only ends when the ringleaders are arrested and held accountable. All these foot soldiers that got arrested, that's just the start. But the coup could happen again. So, let's ask, will General Flynn and General Flynn, will Michael and Charles be held accountable for their actions on January 6th? And just a thing out to Zach. Zach was asking, one of the viewers was asking, why Michael Flynn isn't in prison. Because Trump pardoned him for any and all crimes. It's just, I'm hoping though, that instead of getting angry and upset, because I was already angry and upset about this years ago when he got pardoned, if this is considered to be a pardon where Trump was trying to avoid legal consequences from this guy, it could get overturned. I could be wrong on that one. I'm not a legal expert, nor do I role play one in my D&D group. But it would seem to me that you can't pardon somebody to protect yourself from a crime. And even if you can't overturn it, it's not like Flynn stopped committing crimes. So, will Michael Flynn be held accountable for their role on January 6th? Well, if you're going to get a card to start things off on something like that, and you're hoping that justice will come and it'll be their downfall, I'd say that's a pretty good start. I don't even have to throw the rest of them, but we're going to do it anyways because, well, it's going to be interesting, right? Tower card, death card. Show of hands. How many people think that they're going to be held accountable for all this? Enjoy this one, people. Enjoy the victory of accountability. End of the road, end of their careers, end of their freedoms, end of their reputations. It is a complete and utter undoing of the Flynn brothers. What a waste of a freaking career. Backroom deals going on in the past. Let's go ahead and throw the rest of them. Oh, look. The present is now, the future is now the present. How funny. We're going to connect all those together, shall we? Oh, God. Okay, so, yeah. Will they be held accountable for January 6th? Yes, absolutely. It's going to be their downfall, the end of their careers, the end of their freedom, the end of their reputation. They'll be court-martialed back to hell and back again. In the past is their backroom dealings, the dark money. This is probably representing Russia and Turkey as special interests and not registering as agents of these countries to the U.S., but it's undermining the U.S. Government. I doubt this is them cooperating with the U.S. because Flynn already was doing that when his son was being threatened with incarceration for his son's role in the 2016 election conspiracy with Russia, but he got pardoned from that, so he just let that go. But it's all the dirty dealings that they keep on undergoing and their involvement in the plan with January 6th. Current situation, just like in the future, it said stuff was going to be happening quickly. Current situation, stuff is happening quickly. So we've connected these two readings. That doesn't happen very often. Thank you, Spirit. I really do appreciate that. It makes things a lot easier. Yeah, so the stuff is happening now. It is going now. It's going to happen fast. Jack Smith is on the job. And he is investigating the January 6th. And I think his investigation is moving very quickly, much more quickly than these guys can plan for. And this is them. This could be Jack Smith too, that he's doing that planning of what's going on in the January 6th investigation. He's also looking around the world. This is not just a U.S.-based investigation. It's going to be looking around the world, which would tie into that world card that we had in the past. Their dealings around the world. So again, I'm really liking how this is turning out here. I'm not liking how it turns out for them. They're not going to like how it turns out for them. But if you're all about accountability, this is looking really well. The lesson to be learned is the Four of Swords. Once he got pardoned, that dude should have been lying low. He should have really stepped back, thought about his life, thought about his life choices, how he dodged a bullet, and clean up his act. But he couldn't do that. And he went ahead and continued to do the backroom dealings. Well, now he's going to get an opportunity to be put in a military prison for a long time, for his both of them for a long time for their roles, because the truth is coming out. The truth is going to be exposed. And, underneath it all, when we got the tower and the death card, we've got the 10 of cups. We've got the family. This is going to be not only the GOP, but it's also going to be their family reputation. The legacy that these two guys had built and could have had has been utterly toppled and brought to an end. What a freaking waste. That's just one of those things. As I started this off by wishing folks a happy Father's Day, this would be one of those things that would cause a father, if his kids did that, to just shake his head. Like, how could you be so foolish as to go down that path and risk everything that you've built for what? For who? For Donald Trump? Seriously? For the thought of being the next American oligarchs? What the heck was wrong with your achievements? They were amazing achievements. You guys are set. Maybe they never had the moral compass to begin with, and they were able to advance despite that. And they were self-enriching the whole time. I don't know. I don't know the family. I don't know their history very well. All I know is if I were looking at titles and successes, they had it made. They the history books, the family trees, it would be something to be so proud of. And now they flushed everything down the toilet. Looking forward to the day that they are held accountable for that. Yeah, I would fully expect. Oh, let's start down there, right? Let me shuffle here. Court-martial. Will both of these gentlemen be court-martialed? Be stripped of their. I don't think it'd be stripped of their pensions, or if they're just court-martialed down to a second lieutenant or a private. They could lose all their benefits too. But are they going to be court-martialed rather severely? That's what I want to know. Will these guys, will both General Flynn, Charles and Michael Flynn, be court-martialed? I mean, intellectually, yeah, you just got to know that's happening. I'm just surprised it hasn't happened yet. All right, let's see what the court-martial looks like. Well, new journey for him right off the cliff, it sounds like. It sounds like that's a new thing that's going to happen. Got the Moon card, Page of Wands. Okay. Are they going to be court-martialed? That's going to be something that's going to happen in the future. It hasn't happened yet, but it's coming. It's a new journey, and it's a new idea going forward. So they're talking about it, and they're planning it underneath. It's going to be going forward step by step. They're still, you know what it is? They want to do it now, but some information can't be released as part of that court-martial, probably due to the January 6th investigations. So, the military can't do the court. They're stuck. Other one. Whee! The military can't do the court-martial because they're stuck. They're held back because of the investigation that's going on by the January 6th committee, and they're not ready to release the information yet. But once they do, once they're given the okay, they're going to go forward with, and they're going to bring these two guys out, and they will proceed with that. So yeah, they're going to be court-martialed. It's just not going to happen yet. Don't get impatient. Understand that the reason why they're not court-martialed yet is that this is a much bigger case, and this case needs to be fully sealed up, and then that'll be the consequences of their actions. Will include court-martialing, not to mention incarceration. Don't we want to know about that too? I'm sorry. This is going to be a longer reading. Incarceration, right? Will both Flynn... I mean, you got the tower and the death card. I don't think that means that they're going to get slapped on the wrist and sent on their way. Will the Flynn brothers also be incarcerated for their roles in this? Did I happen to say for entertainment purposes only? I know I'm entertained. I hope you're entertained. I don't think they'd be entertained if they were watching this. I had one comment that went to my held for review pile that was questioning my sexuality because I was clearly wrong about the Flynn brothers. I don't know how you make a connection like that, but okay, Mr. Critical Thinking there. Whatever. Oh, yeah, and I was an idiot too. Translation, I didn't agree with them. Whatever. Okay, well, the Flynn brothers be incarcerated. Not funny. Will the Flynn brothers be incarcerated? Well, there's a victory for that one. Who's the victory? Let's see if we get the justice card. They're going to be sent away. They are going to be sent away. There's your government. They are going away. Okay. Victory. This victory is for the government. The government stays the course, and they will get the victory on this one. Here's your government card right here. This is going to be one of those things that they are going to be sent to the cooler, like, figure like they might get 4 years plus 8 years probation type of thing. But yeah, they are whatever the federal guidelines are. This could be 4 to 8 years. They're both going to be incarcerated. And one of them, I suspect Michael Flynn's going to be incarcerated for longer than his brother Charles. That's going to be my guess on that one. Like, Michael Flynn's sentence might be twice as long as his brother Charles's sentence, that type of thing. So, breathe, and this too shall pass. No, don't lose faith that they're not going to be held accountable. They're going to be held accountable for this. And just give the January 6th investigation time to fully bloom out, and then that accountability will be held. We'll be all right on this one. They're not getting away with it. They're going to be held to account. Jack Smith is on the job, and we just saw what he did with the Mar-a-Lago documents case. He's got that thing sewn up, and he's going to do the same damn thing with the January 6th insurrection. If these guys had nothing to do with it, then they won't be held accountable to it. But there's so much evidence that they had a lot of stuff to do with this that they will be held to account. Don't worry on that one. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting my channel, and I hope you have a great Sunday. Take care. Bye-bye.